A new study shows the majority of parents who are saving up for their child's education aren't saving nearly enough. Financial advisor Adam Bruno joins us this morning with what the study reveals and how you can start saving for your child's future. So, Adam, I'm afraid to ask almost, how much do most families already have saved and how much do they need to save?
Well, Chris, you know, that's a great question. I think the answer is always going to be not enough.
Right,
because life happens. I think as parents, we all have dreams. I have dreams of being a little thinner, having a little more hair on my head, and of course, every parent dreams of sending their kids to college. But the problem is that we just don't start in time most of the time, and there's always things you can do. Number one being, put yourself first, save that 10%, even though life happens in Little League and ballet and all that fun stuff, you know, you have to put yourself first and pay yourself 10% first.
Okay, so you have to start early, but we're talking you need to have $25,000. Most people just have 10. So how do you bridge that gap?
Well, you know, there's a couple different tools that help you get to that point. One of them would be a 529 plan, where it's very easy to put tax-deferred money into that plan, and the earlier you start, the better. In Florida, we have a wonderful program called the Florida Prepay Plan as well, which now has 4 to 6 different types of plans inside that plan that you can pay every month for. I think the key is, though, that you always have to sit down with a financial professional and figure out what's best for your situation, because there are a lot of options.
Obviously, if you can, financial aid, scholarships always help too. Where do you stand on student loans? What are your suggestions about that?
Yeah, sure. That's a great question. And I think what most people don't realize with Sally May's numbers is that 35% of any child's financial education comes from grants and scholarships. When it comes to student loans, a lot of people think that it's just a necessity. It really isn't. Sometimes it's just a question of doing a job or a student working while in college. And sometimes it's, you know, I think we don't even realize that kids, when they come out of college, they're pushed so hard to actually go to college. Sometimes they don't even realize what they want to do yet, right? So there's nothing wrong with the less expensive route of a community school or getting those core credits out of the way first. So.
Absolutely, especially if you don't know what you want to do.
Absolutely.
All right, so my next question for you is one that kind of makes me cringe thinking about a little bit. What about dipping into retirement savings to pay for college? Is that a smart idea?
You know, Chris, you always ask me those questions that are like a double-edged sword, right? I think that the answer to that question is it really depends on how much the parent has in their retirement savings. But on average, dipping into retirement savings to pay for college can usually set the client back about 10 years.
Right.
So it's very dangerous as a proposition. But again, there's a room for that in every situation if you know what to look for.
Yeah, I guess pros and cons in each. Adam, thank you very much. As always, very good advice. Adam Bruno is the president and founder of Evolution Retirement Services based in Fort Myers. Overall, he has 10 years experience in the financial field and has lived in Fort Myers since 2006.